friends, how you doing today? This is Sherry and welcome to my channel. I'm here with a finished flip through for you today, so sit back and I hope you enjoy. This is a journal, or this was made from a book, a vintage Charlie Brown you see here. It's a mystery Charlie Brown book that I showed in one of my Thrifty Thursdays, and one of my friends saw it and said, hey, can you make me a journal out of that? So that is what happened. So and she wanted sewn in signatures. I went over my different types of binding with her. I do the notebook rings and I do the metal coils. She wanted sewn in signatures, so I made 3 signatures. And so this is how it turned out. I have the front cover here. She chose this fabric out of the 2 choices that I showed on my one of my videos, working on this. And so I do a 5 pamphlet stitch, so they're nice and secured in. And then this is the back, a cute back. It is worn. This is a worn cover, but it's also in good condition. You know what I mean? Like, it's from 1975, I think. And I've got a little goodie bag for her, which I'll show you up. I'll show you in the bag, but I'm not going to take everything out because that's going to be, it's not a big deal. Just a few goodies I put in a bag for her to, use in the journal if she wants to. So like on the front, I put this rickrack because I felt like it needed something there. Even though I tried not to put trim on there, I just, it looked so much, it looked nice without the rickrack, but it even looked better with the rickrack. So I did use a green rickrack, but on the inside I did not. I pinking sheared the edges all the way around, just in case I didn't want to use rickrack. I don't mind the frayed edge either, but it looks nice inside. I didn't use rickrack inside, but I used the original. This library pocket was in here when I got the book, so I left it and just decorated it. Added a couple, like this is like almost like a 3D butterfly because it has 2 layers. Put this little piece from the book. I used Charlie Brown Encyclopedia. So cute. I showed that in my previous video. And I also showed you the library cards, so I won't really go over those again. I'll link all the videos. I think there's, 3 maybe altogether. And so I'll link that playlist below. And you can watch all of them if you haven't seen them. But let's see. Those go. I have those kind of layered. Okay, so I used all of the pages from this book in the journal. They're all in there. Plus I used the 3 other books that I showed in my videos. So here's the copyright page right here. It does say 1975, yes. So I used lots of pages that she could glue down on and, put in her goodies and write and whatever she wants to do, pictures. It's a junk journal, so you can make this into anything, a glue book, photo album, whatever you want to do. Journal, a combination of the 3. That's what I usually do in my journals, a combination of the 3. But here's just some pretty plain light blue paper. This is from a guest book. I like these because they're nice and long, and this one has pretty blue lines, and it's nice and wide like this, kind of landscape orientation. And this one, if a page, when I'm taking apart books and things like this guest book, if it comes out where, like it came out together, but it had a couple weak spots where it was, I don't know if it was stapled or sewn in, but if it comes out where I think it's at all going to be weak at all in the spine here, I put washi tape or some kind of paper, like a strip of scrap paper from, whatever I'm working on, and make that, I just glue it down there to make that stronger. So that's what I have here. It's a pretty piece of blue washi that I glued on that side. Oh, I glued it on both sides, I see. And it looks really pretty, besides the fact that I strengthened that, that piece of paper in the middle there. And so a lot of these pages, if you ever decide to do this with this particular book or this type of book, some of them came out together, 2 pages together. Some of them came out single. And that's not because of anything I did. That's the way the book was made. They were sewn in that way. They were threads that I had to take apart and undo. So the ones that were separated, I tried to keep the story together and put them back together. And I just see how there's a little white piece right here. That's where it was in the book originally. So I took the 2 white pieces and overlapped them and glued them back together. so they would be together. So just FYI, in case you ever make a journal like this and you don't know what to do with the pages, and if they come out separate like that, you can put them back together in a number of ways, really. So I went through my papers that I have that are, I've picked up at thrift stores and things, and I was looking for writing papers or blank papers, but papers that were different, and really fun papers. So this is a receipt with 2 layers here, and she can, if she wants, see I left it together because it makes it stronger. It's 2 layers separate, it kind of thin, but it could be separated if I wanted to. But I thought, this is perforated top here that was on the original. This is like a form here, and it's vintage. And she can actually pull this off if she wants to separate those, or it actually, I think it opens up here at the bottom. She could hide some things in there, just, fun vintage paper that can be written on or whatever. So you'll recognize the pages from the book. So I won't say that every time. I added some pretty colorful, scrapbook papers that I thought would go in this journal. They're all double-sided. So here I added this big rickrack, as you can see. Over here I have a pocket. We did this one together where we added the little label and the butterfly so she could write something there. And of course she can add all her bits and pieces and decorate more. I just kind of got her off on a jump start here. This is a little Snoopy card from my own personal collection, not from my craft room that I have, because I love Snoopy too, and Peanuts and all that. This is a piece I cut out, which I showed in my previous video, so I won't spend a lot of time on it, but just fussy cut this out of the Charles. This is an envelope that I decorated, so she can use this for whatever she wants, glue it down, add bits and pieces to it, but that's from the Charlie Brown Encyclopedia. I used some of my coffee dyed Astro Brights in here because, colorful and fun. This is a piece of that paper I got from Maria. I believe I got this. And someone, I knew what it was, I just never can remember what it is when I do my video. So it's, I think one of my subbies reminded me that it's, I think she said, I could even be wrong now, but I think she said electrocardiogram type graph paper, like from the doctor's office. And I think that's really cool. First of all, it's really thick. This one is. I love the orange graph here. And then I turned it up. It was long enough so I could turn it up and make a pocket on this side. And this pocket we did together, where we cut this piece from the book, He's Your Dog, Charlie Brown, from the book cover, added a little button. And this was the other 2 envelopes that I decorated. This one doesn't have anything in it, but I just wanted to give her some envelopes that she could have fun with. And this is the little envelope with the crayon. I'd even decorated the little flap here with Snoopy on a surfboard. I think that's so cute. And it has a little crayon card in here that she can journal in or do whatever she wants with. But just have a few more of those. They're dwindling down, but I was so tickled when I found those at a thrift store. Okay, so here's the center of the first signature. On all the strings, I said before in my last video that I just tie a little bow there. And page from the book. So this is the other side of the electrocardiogram paper where we did this together. I think after the video I added these little butterflies over here, 2 colorful butterflies, and added some goodies to the pocket. So this was in my stash from a thrift store. I added the lace here, but this I got from a thrift store, just like this. It said just for you. It had this pretty, I don't know how they did that, but I thought it was so beautiful. And here's the back. It's just a tag, and I added Lucy here, and she's looking up. I thought she's looking up at the design and how beautiful it is. There was a couple of those pictures in little pictures in the Charlie Brown Encyclopedia where they're looking up at the sky. So I cut Lucy out and put her there. And this is a Rolodex card that I see. Here's the little pieces that you put into the Rolodex, but I just decorated with Snoopy and the moon and just some text from that encyclopedia I thought looked good in the background. And then she can use that as a journaling card or pocket. And then this is also a guest check, but that same page of Lucy looking up, I found Charlie Brown was looking up, so I put him here on this guest check. And isn't he cute when he's fussy cut out like that? So adorable, I thought. Here is, the Astro Brights, the other side. I used a piece of the scrap fabric from the spine and made some paper clips. So here's one of the paper clips. I put a pretty kind of matching bead dangle here and a file folder that I made from just some scrapbook paper, and it's colorful, so I thought it went with the journal. And then here is the other pocket that I was talking about decorating. We didn't do this together. I just added some yellow rickrack here. And I had showed you this tag that I made from one page of the colorful page book. Added that little seam binding there. And then this is some playing cards. I was making these as separate. I was just going to add a separate piece of paper to the back of each one. And I took one of my Astro Brights pieces of paper and I glued these down on there, and my intent was to cut it down the middle and make 2 cards. But when I saw how cute it looked together, I just left them together as a little journaling spot. So, and then sewed around the whole thing here, so it's all sewn on, and it also has a little hint, spine here of it's just paper, but it is connected at the moment. So I thought that turned out kind of fun. It was not what I intended, but I thought it, I just went with it as it developed. So yeah, this is just the rest of the papers that you saw in the first half of this signature. This is an envelope that she can decorate. See, I decorated the other, I think I showed you 2 already. This is the third one, and I left this for her to decorate. There's a flap that can be used as a tuck there. And that's the first signature. So here's the second signature, where we talked about this in the second video, where I showed you how there was some pencil writing here. I erased it the best I could and cut out fussy cut out little pieces here, the clouds and the kite, to add to the sky and kind of cover up and camouflage that pencil writing. And then all this right here, this sky and the characters were already here, so I just added to it to cover that pencil writing. Here's a little flip up here and a tuck. It's got Snoopy. I fussy cut him out with Snoopy standing on a scale with Woodstock. I was just trying to see what Woodstock kind of putting his foot on there, like, how that changes the weight. So this is another envelope I made from a page from the encyclopedia, Charlie Brown encyclopedia. So I started out with making the page, and this was upright. So this was on the page here, and this came out upright. And then this came out upright, this little comic. And so right here was something I didn't like. This was an encyclopedia, so they talked about different animals. And I think it had an eel here. And you know how eels are? They're kind of ugly, and they look kind of like snakes. So I didn't like it at all. So I covered it up with this little piece right here. I just glued that on. And then also, this was just kind of like script over here, and it was upside down. So I also cut this out of another page and glued that on there. So you'd have a nice complete envelope, and then I sewed around the whole thing, sewed it all together, rounded the corners here. So I think it came out really cute. And then inside I put a couple of index cards that I decorated. This one is just, I used some colorful 4x6 index cards. I had to trim them down a little slightly to fit in the envelope this way. And I think I trimmed a little bit off the top too. And then just added these cute little fussy cut characters from the encyclopedia. So super cute, right? And it just makes for some nice little journaling spots, or whatever she might want to do with those. Could even make them into pockets or flip ups or whatever, anything like that. And that's in that little tuck spot. That is a tuck spot there. And so let's see, this is what is this? This is onions. This is the I believe this is the erasable typing paper there. That just has a nice texture. I like to include that in my journals because it's just so kind of cool. And then here's a pocket here where I decorated with a vintage this is a little vintage like flash card or game card with Sally that I fussy cut. And in here I put these are both postcards. So this is a little vintage postcard. The fun of friendship never ends. It's you can see the age on it. It's kind of browning there. And then this one, just a pretty one. I think this might be vintage too, but not sure where I got this, if I got it in Happy Mail or at a thrift store. But just pretty color, and see it is a postcard, even though it's called Post a Note. Here's a place for a stamp right there, so it's a little different, but super cute journaling space. This is a page from a yearbook. See, I said I went through my papers and kind of picked out different papers than I usually pick out for my writing papers because I just wanted to pick out something different and fun. So this is from a year, I think most of my yearbooks are 1940s. This might be from the 1940s. And it's an autograph page that was never, used. So I put that in there for fun. This is another kind of old paper. It's application for credit, it says, but I love the colors. I found this one actually in an antique store, and the colors are cool. They're yellow and green, so I like those colors. This is the music paper where you write your own notes, And so this was a nice wide one, like a landscape again. I have different sizes of this paper, but I found this landscape piece. I was like, oh, let me use that because that's so cool. I love that. Some of my Astro Brights coffee dyed paper. And more pages from the book. We're at the center here of the second signature. This is the other half. So back half of those papers. Here I've got a pretty paper clip with a love dangle on it. A little charm. And it matches this page. It's orange. So I thought that looked cute there. And then she can tuck whatever and put that wherever. So the music paper. See how this music paper has these lines on this side, and then kind of like notebook paper lines on this side. I thought that was cool and different too. They're not all like that. So same types of papers. Here on this pocket, this is, scrapbook paper. I have put a couple of things. So I've got a double pocket here. So let me take everything out and show you. See, here's the first pocket right here. And in here I have a postcard. This is from Reader's Digest. I just thought the red was really pretty in here. And, I tried to use things with bright colors and colorful. This is another one of those same ones I showed you, just with a different flower and color. And so it's another postcard. And then in this pocket right here, this card, this is like a flash card here. And it had like numbers on the other side. But this side was so pretty, I decided to use this side. I've got a little butterfly and a little button there. And then in here I have 2 flash cards that she can do whatever she wants with. Have some fun with those. But those are in that little pocket. Oh, and actually this one goes all the way through. It can be a belly band too, and whatever. I just thought that would be fun. But it does hold it up, so you don't have to worry about anything slipping through there, I don't think. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. This is another one of the paper clips, and I have a bridge tally card here to have fun with. And that's the end of the second signature. So third signature. Pretty scrapbook paper. This pocket I decorated with another little Snoopy piece here and a game card. In here I have made I'm going to call this a journaling spot because it's blank inside, but I used a piece of a page from the Charlie Brown Encyclopedia. I added a flower here. It's kind of like a fluffy paper flower, but I flattened it out so it wouldn't add too much bulk, but it still is really pretty. And then I also added, there's Charlie Brown under the sea here, and he's got bubbles, so I added to the bubbles some little flat back little stickers there, the little colorful ones, so I thought that was really pretty. And then here I added a piece of my Astro Brights paper, and then just sewed around the whole thing. It's got stitching and rounded the corners. So just a nice little journaling book. That could even be added to if she wanted to add some paper to that. But I just intended it to be like a little journaling spot. Okay, that was over here. And then this also is a little tag I made from this little piece from the book, from the encyclopedia. Just Charlie, it's Linus coming out of the ocean with a sea cucumber. Just for the record, that's a sea cucumber, because I didn't cut out any words as to the description. Oh, I put some words here. The best time he had finding his, going into the ocean and finding his sea cucumber. So this is some, I think this is my tie-dye paper. This is some of my tie-dye paper. So I used tie-dye, ink to color this. And there's one of my paper clips there. And then I put a little flip up here, but this is just a post-it note. This can be removed. See, it's got I didn't glue it down or anything. It's just on with the sticky from the original note that can be moved around or glued down or whatever. Here on this page I added, this is a doily that I colored with food coloring. So I just thought that was really pretty and colorful, so I added that. And there's one of my vintage plastic paper clips there. This is some ledger paper that I found at a thrift store one time. I found a whole book of it, and it does have writing on it, but I love it with the white writing or without the writing. I just love all the colorful lines here. So, and that's a fold out, and she can glue that down and make a little, either way, you can always fold it the other way too and make a little tuck spot or whatever. So options. This is an envelope that I found among most of my papers while I was making this, and I thought it was so cool. See, it was I think I found a few of these envelopes, and what they are is this top, I didn't glue it totally together, but this top was sealed when I got them, but I just really, they were big like this, and they were old. You can see they're browning and stuff, and I was like, well, those are really cool, and I brought them home from the thrift store, put one in here. I made this little notch here, you know, as a little finger spot. And so I left it. I debated on whether I should decorate this or not, but I decided to leave it for her to decorate. I just thought she could write on here or decorate or whatever. I wanted to give her options. And then in here I made another little journaling tag, I guess you could say, from a page from the colorful Charlie Brown book, and added one of Maria's well-tailed tabs here. And I messy stitched around it. So actually it goes like this. Snoopy is hanging from a tree branch there, so it does go like that. And then I backed it with file folder. So that was, you know, it's fun to do that messy stitching. And it's I always think about when I do that messy stitching, like it's my messy stitching is like I you know, I probably focus on it and concentrate and do it in a certain way, so it's not really messy stitching for me. It's quite precise messy stitching that I do, but it's fun anyway. I like the outcome. I like the results. So this right here is some more, this is computer paper, not like the other one that I showed you with that had the double layers, but it is yellow on the side, pink on this side. It has the computer like tracks that they used to use, and it actually opens up right here. So this could be a pocket. It's kind of thin paper, so you know, it would be up to her, but I left it together for the strength of 2 layers. And then I folded it up really as a decoration because I didn't want to cut off these cool track here. But then I also tucked some stuff in here because, you know, it is a little pocket. So I said, why not? So I put a journaling card in here. Happiness blooms within. So see, it's just a regular pretty journaling card. And then this I had in my stash, very colorful tag I had made from, I just added this wasn't on there, added the lace, black lace, and this was made from tissue paper, and this was actually, I think this was, oh, I had got some colorful, you know, yeah, it was colorful tissue paper from Dollar Tree, and this was actually the top wrapping that they had these pretty flowers. I think that's what this was from, but anyway, I used it on a tag, and I think it came out really pretty. So that is in there for, she can journal on the back of that. Or you can always glue one of these down and make it into a tuck spot or something too. So, and here's the center. Onto this. This is another little, you know, with a track. So in this one, I have a bunch of these bookmarks, and I'm acquiring quite a collection. So I'm trying to remember to put one in, at least one in one of each of my journals. So this one I just thought was pretty. It says Daily Word and has all these pretty flowery pictures. And then on the back it has some verses. I think it's verses. Oh, it's quotes. It's quotes from different people. Okay, it's quotes. I have some with verses. That one has quotes. And then this is just a pretty little card I made from a napkin. It's distressed and it has a butterfly on it. So just using up some of my stash because I need to do that. And then this is the other side of that big envelope that I talked about. And here I have another tag from that colorful page book and a tab there from Maria. And then this one I zigzag stitched around. So we've got a nice big journaling card there, or tag. And it fits nicely into that envelope. And so here's that ledger paper. See, the ledger paper, a lot of the pages had a receipt on them, and I always just leave it there whenever I put it into a journal for somebody to do whatever. They can take it off. There's a staple right there, a rusty one I might add. And and do whatever they want with it, or they can use it as a little, you know, you could journal on the back of that and flip it down, kind of like private journaling there or whatever. Just have fun with it. Some pink paper there. Here on this paper clip, I think this is the last paper clip. Paper clipped, I'm not going to take it off right now, but I guess I will take it off. So this envelope came with it. You can see how brown that is. This is a vintage card and cute little vintagey. It is a Valentine card, but I just, you know, was looking for a colorful card to put in here. And I need to use some of these cards, and look how cute this is. So yeah, adorable, right? So I put that in here for her to have fun with. And this pocket, I think this is, oh, I got a tuck spot on this side. Okay, so this pocket, this is, you know, more pretty scrapbook paper. I used some Monopoly money because it's colorful, right? I used the green, and this is old. This is very faded compared to the new. I have some new Monopoly money, and I have this very kind of old, pretty old, I think, Monopoly money. And this is very faded. When I got it out, I noticed, because I have been dealing, you know, handling newer Monopoly money recently. I was like, wow, that's really faded, but really cool still with the colors. So I've got a green 20, and I think this one's supposed to be pink here, the 5. Then I put Sally there. It's fussy cut her out. And there's a banner right here that I glued on the top of this for a little decoration there. So I just had that. I've had this banner in my stash for a long time, and have used little pieces of it like that. But this has banner. I mean, I bought it at Tuesday Morning a good while ago, and it has just lasted me forever. So, and I still have a piece left even after I used this here. I used it here, and I used a big piece here. I still have a little piece left, so I'm trying to use up that banner, but not really. I mean, I'm just using it whenever it's, I guess, you have an opportunity, and it's so pretty and colorful that I put it in here. So this is a little tuck spot that I put a scrap here. I wanted to do something. And so I put a scrap here as a tuck spot. It does go through. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to use it, make a belly band. But a belly band, the issue I was having, and sometimes the issue I have with belly bands, is you put them a lot of times right in the middle of the page here or here. And it kind of like almost takes up your whole page. Like, you know, you take up whole page. I didn't want to take up her whole page. So I put it over here. That's why I kind of put a belly band and then I didn't make it a tuck spot. So like this, I have this tucked here. This is one of my quotes from that encouraging quote book that I got. So and since this page is so pretty and colorful, I put that in here. But yeah, she could hang something. She could glue this down if she doesn't like it like this, or you can take something and fold it and hang it here, and it would hang, you know, over here, if you know what I mean, part in back and part in front. So yeah, I just didn't want to take up a whole one of her pages with a belly band. That's the last page. Here's the back, which we talked about in my last video, how this came about. Tag here made from that one book with the colorful pages, and this one's straight stitched around. And this is a drilling spot here that I used to cover up a label that I couldn't get out of here. I couldn't remove it, and then put some pieces from the book, the encyclopedia. This was already here. This was how the book was. And then I put a pocket down. I mean, pocket right here, as you can see. And it's sewn around and decorated with a piece from the encyclopedia and a little piece from my new BB Craft little trim there, which I thought went well with the whole grass look there. So anyway, that is the journal. I hope you enjoyed, and sorry it took so long, but I wanted to share my thoughts and process and tips with you. So thank you for watching today. Have an awesome day and happy crafting.